Hi, I'm Brandon LaBeouf, owner of the St. Bernard Indoor Shooting Center, NOLATAC Training Center on the West Bank in New Orleans, and NOLATAC Training Consulting. In this episode of our Louisiana Concealed Handgun Permit Instructor Development Series, I want to talk to you about mentors, about the importance of mentors in developing instructors. I encourage you, and in fact, I plead with you, be a mentor and find a mentor. You should at all times have a mentor, or preferably mentors, people that you can go to seek guidance and advice. And you should always be looking to mentor someone, to help someone else in the same way that you're being helped. From a purely self-serving standpoint, you really need that information channel from both ways. There's going to be things that you don't know, that there are more knowledgeable people that you can go to and ask, or at least bounce ideas off of and get feedback and opinions. Likewise, you don't ever really know something as well as you know it when you're able to teach it well. So when you're having to explain something to a protege or someone that you're mentoring, that you can help develop them by giving them information that helps solidify the information to you. Also, those people are generally going to ask questions, and lots of times they'll ask questions that you've either never thought of or you, quite frankly, may not know the answer to. So they're constantly challenging you, making you become better so that you can make them better. And that circle just keeps feeding itself if everybody's helping everybody. I've had countless mentors throughout my life at any given time. I've had good mentors and I've had not so good mentors. I've had mentors that I've utilized to get good information from and help me make decisions and guide me. And there's been some people that, looking back, were probably not the best mentors, but they still taught me. They may have provided an example of how I didn't want to do things or how not to do things or how to make mistakes, but I learned. I often say that lots of times I believe you learn the most from your mistakes, because mistakes come with a cost. There's a penalty involved. It may be money, it may be ego, it may be pride, it may be a scar. But when you make a mistake, it hurts to some degree. And generally, we try to avert that. So you learn. When you do something good, you kind of like, all right, whatever, and you move on. It doesn't resonate with most people as well. I believe in making mistakes. I believe, and what I recommend you do is, if you have a mentor, remember, you're not trying to create a little mini-me. I'm not trying to take someone that I'm mentoring and turn them into me. I'm simply trying to give them knowledge so that they can develop into the instructor that they're going to be. Not to get too touchy-feely, but think of it like a flower. You literally have to nurture and care for a flower. You have to feed it. You know, you're feeding this individual knowledge. You have to water it, but it's not a bonsai tree. You're not bending it and torquing it and getting it to grow the way you want it. It's going to grow the way it's going to grow. You're simply providing it the guidance. And sometimes what you'll find is having mentored a lot of people and still mentoring several, people will come and go. There'll be times when the grasshopper believes he knows more than the sensei and will go on his own path. And you have to be okay letting that person leave. Sometimes they'll leave knowing more than the sensei. Your goal as a mentor should be to get your student to the point where they do know more than you. Okay? I am really, really good at what I do. In fact, I'm the best at what I do. Someday, somebody's going to be better than me. Until then, I'm that guy. But I'm always looking for that next guy, that next hungry student who wants to learn, that I could take what I know, put it into them, and let what they know mold with that and become something different, and hopefully something better. Because that's what I did. Every class I've gone to, every instructor I've befriended, every person I've had in and out of firearms, I've tried to absorb everything I could from them, be it personality traits, be it the way they view things, particular techniques, the way they articulate things to students that really resonated with me in ways that maybe I didn't think, like, that's a good way of putting it. I take all that in, and there's times where some's more applicable than others, but I try to utilize that. The thing I would caution you about is, again, most importantly, there's a bond. There's a trust that has to exist between a mentor and a protege, and it has to go both ways. Are there going to be people that come to you and simply want to steal your stuff and do it in a way that isn't honorable, for lack of a better word? Of course. I've had people do that to me, and but I don't let that stop me from wanting to help people. I mean, that's why I instruct in the first place. It's because I want to help people. So to me, helping other instructors is simply multiplying my ability to help people. I can only teach so many people. But if I can have a positive effect on other instructors and then they go and teach, I've now touched more students. And that's really honestly all I'm concerned with. Likewise, I like to think that, I'm very respectful and appreciative of all that the mentors I've had throughout my life. I mean, most recently I own an indoor shooting range. Tom Gibbons with Range Master has opened his doors and his business to me to go in and just any question imaginable he shared with me, and there was nothing expected in return. As well as obviously he's a phenomenal instructor and has helped me. I've taken his classes and stuff like that. I worked for a while with Travis Haley. I learned a lot from Travis. Some stuff on great ways of doing things and some things on, well, maybe I don't want to do it that way. I've learned a lot about business, a lot about interpersonal relationships, and of course a lot about firearms manipulation and instruction. So I take what I could take from each individual and I absorb it into my style, and your style changes and all that. But just remember, that student, you're not trying to clip their wings to make them like you. You're trying to let them spread their wings so they could be what they're going to be. And at some point, they're going to leave the nest. And when they do that, they're on their own. Certainly be there for them as a resource, but understand that they're going to make mistakes. And you have to be okay with people making mistakes, because that's how you learn. If you tell people never make mistakes, they're guarded and they never step out of their comfort zone. The only way you could push yourself is to go beyond that comfort level and beyond the security of 100% success. Well, once you're outside of 100% success, there has to be an element of failure. What I express to people that I work with is, I'm okay with you making mistakes as long as you can articulate to me why you did what you did, why you thought it was a good idea, and now that you realize it wasn't, what are you going to do next time so this doesn't happen again? I don't mind mistakes. What I don't tolerate is the same mistake more than once. That's a failure to learn, and that's something that has to be addressed. So again, I implore you, find a mentor, be a mentor always, and do what you can to help your peers, your fellow instructors. No matter how good or better you are than someone else or someone is than you, we all can learn from each other. As always, be vigilant, be prepared. You guys stay safe.